What's going on, y'all? VNNCZ3 here, bringing you episode 15 of our free-to-play series. In this episode, we'll beat Skirmish 6, and we'll go over my research and talent allocation, so stay tuned. Don't be afraid. Alright, y'all, I've been holding off on attempting Skirmish 6 because I don't want to lose hardly any troops, and a good way to do that is to have an overwhelming amount of troops against them. I've already used my army attack buff for this fight, and possibly Skirmish 7, although I don't think that's going to happen. Skirmish 7's pretty tough. But anyways, let's go ahead and get a scout up on this base. It's going to have already an army attack buff right there. It's going to have 3 generals in the back, and wow, that hero grade, yo. The castle wall is 4875, so it's 100% basically. The amount of traps, now here's something a lot of players don't understand, is that traps are amazing, but if you don't have a wall up, your traps are actually useless because they don't even deploy at that point. So yeah, that's just a pro tip you guys want to take into consideration here. The kind of army it's going to have is a lot of gladiators, reptilian riders, and very few ranged. It says here at the top, the battle tips, use siege engines with infantry or cavalry to break through the weak walls. And I don't think it's really that weak of a wall. It's more or less the traps. But let's go ahead and get an attack here. I mentioned an overwhelming amount of troops here, and as you can see here, I've got all my tier 2 troops, and I've got several thousands of them. But I'm going to go ahead and toss in all of my tier 1s as well. So let's go ahead and clank these axes. Fight! And if you guys want to know, yeah, I'm still super sick, and that's why I'm having a hard time speaking in this. And so, yeah, don't get discouraged by that stuff. But let's go ahead and do the, let's do our impression. Elementalist, we will smite before you reach these walls. You know, because he sounds like, you know, I would imagine he sounds kind of like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like a super, like, I'm going to stick to myself kind of a guy, and I'm going to go ahead and, you know, scream at you behind a computer. I don't know. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hit this button right here. And I'm paying attention to my troops, and we are losing troops like massively right now because we just hit all of those traps right there for the infantry and stuff, and that's something else too. A lot of players like to use a tier 1 infantries as like a meat shield. For some reason it works. It's like the game of war. A lot of guys like to do that. But, you know, I just play whatever. I can leave the battle right now, and it'll automatically clear all the stuff because this is predetermined once the numbers mash up. So, but, you know, we're going to go ahead and play it out, though. Hit this continue button and just look at the enemy troops right here. Look how fast they dwindle. I know ours are dwindling pretty fast, but these guys are all tier 2 at that point. So they might repel us because we've suffered a lot of losses at the very start. But well, let's hope we don't have that happen to us. And if it does, these guys are going to drop really rapidly whenever we fight them again. And if you look at the healths, like right here are the units, you can see the amount of health that each unit has before it goes in and, you know, pretty much dies. But, you know, we lost a good amount of troops to start off with, but now it's kind of super slow. We did get a repel on them, or my bad, they retreated, and we suffered 3,000, mostly tier 1 troops. I can guarantee it's mostly tier 1 troops. And they've got 5,600, so in my opinion, that is definitely a bonus. We're going to go ahead and get another scout, and it's going to show the army size. The traps are really irrelevant. Don't pay attention to the traps because there's no wall, remember? And so we're going to go ahead and fight these guys again. As you see here, gladiators are the first ones to engage the fight. Basically, infantry engages first, and then cavalry, and then ranged. And so the ranged didn't suffer any losses back here because the infantry suffered the most amount. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain here. But if you guys are following what I'm saying here, then you understand that the infantry are the first people to take the brunt of the force, and then the cavalry do. And range, well, once they have no meat shields, then they start taking losses. But look at this. Oh my god, just absolutely slaughtering these guys now at this point. And yeah, that's good business. That's super good business. We've still got some tier 1 troops in the mixture here, some siege weapons, mostly some in the range too. But you know what? I'll take it as I get them. And, you know, ranged, they drop rapidly. They drop rapidly with nobody in front of them. Like, if you had to, like, take a guesstimate at their hit points, it's probably, let's say their hit points are 3. a reptilian rider's hit points is like 10, and infantry is like 10 as well. So it's a lot less. But let's go ahead and, yeah, let's go ahead and collect these rewards. Give me just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it really fast here to the talent slash research. Give me just a second, guys. 3, 2, 1. See? It's magic, isn't it? Let's take a peek at my favorite tab, which is going to be, boop, monster hunting. That's right, guys. As a free-to-play player, monster hunting is going to yield a ridiculous amount of rewards for your overall account. It's going to give you speed ups, player EXP, hero EXP. There's a lot of stuff involved with monster hunting, and it's an amazing way to support your guild. I would highly recommend maxing out all of your monster hunting stuff like all the time. And I did the same thing on my main account. It is absolutely amazing. Like, having the energy recovery go all the way up 30, that 19%, that 18, 19, 20% or whatever, is absolutely amazing. The energy limit, pretty damn good too. Energy saving, I mean, when you bottle it all together, it's amazing. Not only that, but then when you get your monster hunt, like your actual damage, when you get the boost all the way researched, you can start to one-shot all of these beasts like the snow beasts and the jade worms. And I'm having a harder time talking because I'm like super sick, guys. I don't sound like it, but I really am. But yeah, the Monster Hunt tab is probably my favorite tab by a long shot. It really is. And I've literally got all the way down to the energy limit 2 researched. And the Monster Hunt 5 is just, it's not something I'm going to invest into because it takes a long time to research. But I've already got all these like energy recovery, saver, and limit maxed out on my main account at 9. So, and to get the 10, you need like a bunch of just random crap. So anyways, long story short, guys, get your monster hunting tab up first. I would highly recommend doing that. The next important tab is going to be your economy tab, actually. And yeah, let's talk about this really quick here, guys. I need a level 11 academy to do any more researching in this economy tab once I have it all, once I'm ready to do more research, because this food harvest is going to be capped out at 5, just like everything else is down here. And so, yeah, guys, I would highly recommend getting this tab up as a secondary. And always have your construction speed maxed out, because if you do happen to get to level 10, it's a 70% increase, and that's very serious. It's like buku, man. That's all I'm going to say here. The next, the third most important tab is actually your defense, believe it or not. As a free-to-play player, it's super, super, super imperative that you have a very strong castle wall, strong everything. Your traps are on fleek, everything like that, because you're not looking to rage a bunch of wars with people, are you, as a free-to-play player? So it doesn't make any sense to go straight to your military tab unless you're trying to get your troops unlocked. So there's bare minimum requirements, and I already fulfilled those in order to unlock those troops. And then I'm basically going to ignore the rest of them for the most part. But let's go ahead and take a peek down here. Well, I'm all going up. Yeah. The metal spikes, the sniper towers, the rolling logs, each one of these take 10 hours to research. And so what I did is I set an alarm clock, and I said, okay, well, I know I've got VIP 8, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, all I'm saying here, guys, is I am taking this free-to-play series very serious, and that is why I am so advanced for only being a castle level 10. It's because I have timers I set at my computer, or my computer, I said, or, my phone, or whatever the case may be, so that I can get my research done and get it over with, because research is the one permanent thing in the entire game, and you can't really undo your research. So once you get to like your VIP 9, 10, or whatever VIP you're going for as a free-to-play player, I highly recommend, if you're going to spend gems on anything, spend it on your treasure trove and spend it on your research. I wouldn't spend my gems any other way to do speed ups or for troops, because troops are a bad bet all around as a free-to-play player, and I'll get into that in a different episode. But yeah, we'll go ahead and look at the military tab last, because this is my least favorite tab as a free-to-play player, even though I'm red on all the stuff because I need a higher level academy, right? I did these last. I literally went from infantry to siege to ranged. I did them all very, very last, because I have little to no interest in actually spending a lot of time in this tab, because, again, I'm not looking to rage a bunch of wars. The only reason I will ever invest more into this tab is to basically unlock these tier 3 troops at some point. But I plan on having like just a ridiculous amount of tier 2 troops and to knock out Skirmish 8, but I think that number has to be somewhere around like 80,000 or so. So it's not going to be today or tomorrow. It's going to take a while to get those, but I will get those troops before I will unlock the tier 3 troops. So and not only that, but it requires a castle level of 17 in order to unlock these, and I'm just not in a hurry to get my castle all the way up to 17, 18, 19, so on and so forth. I will level my castle up as my base levels up. That is a thing that I'm trying really hard to do, because a lot of players, they get the misconception that if you level up your castle really quickly, you get something in return. But no, you actually don't get anything in return other than small amount of perks, like you can shelter more troops, yada yada yada. But again, guys, once I'm done with all my skirmishes, I'm probably going to just disband all my armies, and I'm only going to have tier 1 troops to gather, and those are just going to be ballistas. And so I'll send out large groups of ballistas out to gather all of my resources. But let's go ahead and let's move to my talent, shall we? With the power of editing. I started on the right side of my talent tree first, and then I migrated my points to the left side once I got research 2. But as you can see here, I put as minimal points as possible to unlock the next tier. I took up all of construction speed 1 and research speed, or it just says research 1, but I maxed those out because those are very valuable to everybody who plays the game. Unless you're maxed out on your account, then it doesn't really matter. And then you put all your points in your left side. But anyways, so as you can see here, 2 points timber, 2 points ore, but once you get to the level 2s, it requires 5 points to move down. So I got the stone, I got the food, the ore, and then, you know what, I maxed out my construction speed 2 and my research speed 2, but I didn't bother putting any more points in anything else because I need to be able to make troops just a little bit faster because, again, I'm doing skirmishes right now, and I'm trying to get my, treasure trove unlocked, but I'm not trying to rush to it. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, I'm not trying to rush to treasure trove, which is castle level 17, but I would like to unlock that area so that I can, when I get there, but you know, like I said, I'm not in a rush right now to get to castle level 17 and then whatever, right? Because all your events are so much slower. They require more points. They give less rewards. Actually, they take it back. They give more rewards, but for the amount of stuff you spend to get those rewards, it feels like it's less. But anyways, to start off, you put 2 points into your squad offense, but then on the left side of the tree, it requires 3 points and not 2 to move down to the next tier. So I got my cavalry offense speed, my trap building speed, but I maxed out the training speed 1 because I could get to the training speed 2 with this amount of points, and that's not a bad route to take anyways. But when I'm able to do that and max out my training speed 2, I'll spend the points to get to 2, and I'll cover that here in just a second, okay? So stay with me. As you can see here, I left off at ranged offense 1. I can put 3 points. My next 3 points are going to go into infantry offense, and then basically so on and so forth. But once you get to the level 2, again, it takes 5 points. I forget how many points it requires. I know it's a great deal. I'm not going to get here until I'm about like 40 something. And then I'll put all my points into the training speed 2, because if you click the little I button right here, you select it, you go all the way down, and there's a 92% training speed bonus you'll get versus, keeping the points right here, which would be, well, let's see here. 15 is going to give me 30%, so I would need a total of 18 points to max out this training speed. 15 from the training speed, and then 3 from the trap. So if I am 18 points away from maxing out my training speed 2, I will absolutely take all the points out of, I'll basically respec. And then because at 18 points, let's see here, 35, so 18 would be what, 17, I think is what it is. So at 22%, that's a 70% jump increase versus the other 30. And so it's all mathematical to me, and that's the way I look at it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much the video. Hopefully you guys like it. Sorry for my voice again. I'm getting sick, or I just still am sick, so I'm kind of like, I sound like I've been smoking this entire time. But I don't smoke, so anyways, though, guys, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Be safe, but above all, stay what we call classy.